Hey beautifuls, I am in a parking lot. I'm waiting on my friend to show up because we're going to have breakfast this morning, and I had some time because she's running a little late and I wanted to chat with you all about some things. I actually recorded a video yesterday, but I decided that I'm going to wait and release that next week because what I have to say today feels more important, honestly, and more timely. So that's what I am going to share. I am about to talk about something that I never talk about publicly because it is a hot button. And so don't come at me in the comments, right? Okay. This is a discussion and the perspective that I'm going to bring might be a little bit different. And so I just want you to sit with what I say. And if something gets triggered, it's all good, right? But don't come at me because I'm just bringing through information as I've been sitting with and reading the energy. So I'm going to talk about the election. You might have felt that coming. A big part of my work in this world is to anchor unity consciousness. In order to anchor unity consciousness, what that really means is being able to see the duality and understand both sides of the fence, so to speak, and both sides of the duality, and find the commonality and find the connect point and find the both and the middle ground. That's what it practically looks like in the world. And I've really very consciously been trying to take my spiritual practice of channeling and teaching from unity consciousness and bringing that into my life actively for a long time. But especially in the last 8 months, I've really been focused on trying to find the both and finding the middle ground in my life when I get presented with decisions that feel like a Sophie's choice kind of situation. And one of the things that happens with that is you go into one side and you play in an energy, and you go into another side and you play in an energy, and then you come back out and you find that middle ground. And so consequently this year I've been working a lot, as I always do, because it's a big part of my work in the world, but also my personal work, on being able to sit in my divine feminine, being able to sit in my divine masculine, and then having those two energies come together. So that's been a big part of my work this year and is always a big part of my work. Okay, so that's the background. The other piece of background is that I have been deep in a process of just some really hard stuff, looking at my ancestors, looking at past lives, just doing some really deep work in healing my divine feminine and rebirthing myself as a more unified being. So that's the backstory, okay? So oftentimes when I am looking at world events, I first read the energy of it, and then I will chat with the guides and ask for them to show me what I'm not seeing and give me another perspective. So a few weeks ago, when Kamala announced that she was going to be taking over and Biden was stepping back, my first reaction was to go deeper into freeze. I was already in a freeze space where I was really conserving my resources and trying to process some things internally. But when she announced, I had a fear response and I went into freeze. And immediately I was like, okay, what is this about? And what came forward, because it came up in a conversation with someone, I think I might have been talking with my mom, and I said, yeah, I'm feeling really hopeless and I'm feeling really discouraged, and I don't know what's going to happen in our world landscape. And I realized that what I'm going through is probably coloring it. And what I felt in that moment when I was in fear and then freeze is I remembered back to the last time we had a woman run for office, and the level of stuff that got stirred up for me and for the collective, and the level of abuse that I had to witness towards the feminine. Now, I'm not saying that either political party is our answer. Quite frankly, I've already resigned myself to realize that what's happening at the top of the house is only going to be there to reflect the density that we're clearing and the stuff that we're moving through as a collective. That's how it's serving. It's not serving to change the world. I've already come to that conclusion personally. And so when I started thinking back to what happened, I remembered that the result of that particular election was one that brought a whole bunch of stuff forward in the collective, and it mirrored a whole bunch of narcissistic abusive energy, and a whole lot of things shifted because we had that experience. And what I was reacting to internally was the level of trauma that it triggered for myself and, quite frankly, a lot of my clients, because I work with a lot of women who have been abused by a lot of different people, but especially the masculine in a lot of different ways. Everything from them just not feeling seen and heard to physical and sexual abuse. And so the part of me that was reacting was my nervous system going, I can't take another 6 months of, on the world stage, a man attacking a woman. Now, that's me looking at it energetically and feeling what was triggered for me, and then realizing that I went into a whole bunch of hopeless energy and a whole bunch of a trauma response. And then I was like, okay, this is great. This is asking me to work through some things where I'm not neutral to what's happening in the world and what I see externally to me happening to the feminine. And I've got some more wounds I need to work on. So I went back into my process, was very honest about a lot of anger and a lot of sadness that was still present for me, and a lot of really screwed up wounding that I was still carrying from a lot of lifetimes in this lifetime and from my ancestors. Did that work, went through this rebirth process, felt like I was buried in the earth for weeks at a time. It was freaking awful, to be honest. And then as soon as I started to come out the other side of it, all these women started showing up, and some men started showing up where they were also doing that work. And they said, why am I so tired? Why am I so exhausted? Why am I grieving? And I started to put the puzzle pieces together that this, I'll say positive things, even though they're hard things, has already triggered so many positive things that we need to look at as a collective within our own way of how we've treated the feminine and how we are feeling in our own feminine energy, okay, regardless of gender. And I was like, wow, okay, we're already seeing this serve. And then I started talking to the guides, and I said, okay, I understand that this is serving, but let's play this out. Let's say that she wins, right? I don't know what's going to happen, right? But let's play it out. Let's play it forward, and let's say that she wins, okay? This is not the divine feminine vessel that I personally would have chosen to come to the world stage to help us. Now, keep in mind, I realize that they're not going to save us, right? This is not how this is going to go, that this system has to fall apart in order for us to shift as a collective. But there's still a part of me that's, can somebody show up and fix all of this mess and make it better? And so I said to the guides, okay, this is not the person that I would have chosen. When I witness her and her feminine, there's a lot of battle energy. There's a lot of fight. There's all of the commercials and ads that I see for her about how she's gone to battle and for this and battle for that. And personally, in my divine feminine energy, what I am working on right now is letting go of being in battle with the masculine or with life or with the universe or with people outside of me, because that's not serving me. That is not a way that I want to live in my divine masculine and divine feminine frequency anymore. I don't want the two parts of me to be at war, right? I'm trying actively to bring union to myself internally so that I can have union with those outside of me. Unity consciousness. And the guide said, Katie, we get it. We get that you would have picked somebody different. We maybe don't even know who you would have picked, but we get that it was probably going to be somebody that is a frequency closer to what you're trying to run in your feminine body. Because if somebody's going to break through this glass ceiling, you want them to break all the way through it. What they then said to me was super key. And this is what I want you to hear. I don't give a crap who you vote for. This is not about that. I just want you to hear what the guide said to me. What they said to me is, you don't always get what you want, you get what you need. And even in the past, when somebody was elected that you didn't vote for, that maybe you didn't agree with how they were holding their values in the world, you got what you needed as a collective, not what you wanted personally or even maybe as a collective. Okay. And I think back to all of the ceremonies that I've been in, and you write out your intentions. I just had another one with my girlfriends this weekend, and you write out your intentions, and invariably what you get before you get the thing that you want and that you're desiring is the thing that you need, which is normally the opposite frequency. You get the thing that you're clearing, right? That you're needing to clear in order to claim the thing that you want. And I said, okay, explain to me more. Tell me why this is what we might need. Even if she doesn't get elected, just her being on the stage, tell me why this is what we need to see mirrored about being in our feminine. And they said, Katie, what you have been working on clearing in your energy field is battle, fight, needing to be in your wounded masculine in order to be safe in a masculine world, not honoring your feminine energy, not honoring your feminine voice, and coming at things through a frequency of battle and war in a feminine body, right? And look at how her frequency is going to step in and hold that on a world stage to some degree, whether she's elected or not, and then witness what happens in your female clients and in yourself when that happens, and then all of the work that you can do to actually land in the feminine frequency that you want to embody. And lo and behold, that's what I'm seeing in my clients. I had a client yesterday and she said, I feel like everything in my life that I've wanted is here, but I'm in resistance to it, and I'm clearing and I'm regressing in my physical body, and all these things were happening. And she was going through the exact process that I had just been through, which is a rebirth. She had to shed some really dense stories and really dense energies in order to claim the life that's already sitting in front of her that she wants. And that's exactly what happened to me when I was trying to claim divine union inside of my body. And so regardless of what happens, we are always getting what we need. Sometimes we don't get what we want. And that's a very challenging thing to work through as a human, right? Because we are also told that we're the creator of our realities. And so when we ask for something and we get the opposite, we start to question, are we worthy? Did we get it wrong? Did we ask for too much? No, what's happening is we asked for something, and all of the things that are preventing us from being able to hold that frequency and hold that truth then get triggered and need to be healed. So that's my take on what's going on. And I don't know how this is going to play out. Like I said, I have been looking at the timelines. You all are working through this individually, and different things are getting triggered for each of us. And this story, this masculine, feminine story that we're seeing on the world stage here in the United States, is just a mirror of what's happening inside of you. And so if you're in resistance to one or the other or both, sit with, okay, what's getting triggered and what is the medicine here? And then make your decision aligning with what you think is going to be the best medicine for you in the next 4 years, and what you think is going to be the best medicine for the collective in the next 4 years. That's how I'm approaching it. It's just my process. This is how I work through things. I connect the dots. I read the energy. I see the trends. I talk with people. I look at what's happening in my own process, and that's how I process my own stuff and what's happening in the collective. So I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you frame up maybe something that might be happening inside of you. Like I said, regardless of gender, we are clearing so much around just what this duality of these masculine, feminine dynamics and these dualistic choices have caused for us. This is how I make the decision. So I hope that helps. I hope that serves. Comment and let me know what you think, right? How does that feel for you? Please, we're not getting into arguments in the comments. I will delete you. I'm trying to hold unity here where people are allowed to express and bring forward their views, but this is not an attack place. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you all this week. August is a heck of a month. Whew. My friends, we are doing some big work, as we always are, but just keeps getting more interesting around here. Side note, Costa Rica, our trip to one of the most divine feminine places I've ever been in my life, that also helps you to reset your nervous system in a very distinct way. We're going to Costa Rica next May. That's live on my page. Just had another meeting with our friends that help us with the Peru retreat, Rebbe and Nelda, a couple of nights ago. We're working on our itinerary. We've got some new stuff that we're adding in that I'm really excited about, including teaching you how to build and work with a mesa. That's going to be end of July, early August. I think July 25th through August 5th. The other dates are May 24th through June 1st for the Costa Rica retreat in 2025. So they'll probably fill up. I've got wait lists for both. Costa Rica is already live. You can get on it and pay your deposit. Peru will be live soon, but if you go to the Peru retreat page, we've got last year's itinerary on there. It'll be slightly different, but you can add yourself to the wait list for that as well. So I'll put those links below this video. All right. Thank you all for watching and listening. I hope you have a great day. I hope this that I shared with you helps you make sense of some things that might be going on with you and brings you comfort. We've also got a big sound healing in September with a very special professional flutist that's coming from Arizona. That's September 21st. I'll put that below this video too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Bye.